age of 16, please make sure that you have an adult with you before you start the class. Anyone pregnant, make sure you've got something to prop underneath your head and shoulders, just to elevate you if we're lying supine, and no deep twists at all. If you guys have any injuries, any aches or pains, anything that's bothering you, you're very welcome to stay and take the class, of course, just being extra mindful of those areas, paying attention to anything that doesn't feel 100% right, and always working within your kind of, not comfort zone, but never pushing yourself to the point of pain. So satisfying the uncomfortable is great, but anything that is painful is bad. So stop if you feel any pain. Pay extra attention to any areas that might not be feeling that good. And always do as much or as little of the class as you want. Never feel like you have to do it all. I'm going to try and offer you guys as many modifications as I can. And if you need to take a break, pause, have a drink of water, stop what you're doing, maybe take a resting pose, rejoin us when you're ready. And remember that yoga is so much more than our physical practice. So if your yoga practice for today is that you want to spend the next 45 minutes lying on your back on the mat, then by all means, be my guest. So we're going to do a full body flow today. I hope that you guys had a nice time with Lena last night and that she took you for a nice peaceful midweek class. So today we're going to just recharge, because obviously we have tomorrow off. We're going to get ourselves nice and ready for the weekend. We're going to try and energize ourselves. We're going to do a couple of twists. We're going to get into all the areas of the body. I'm going to try and make it nice and juicy. If you guys need props, if you've got yoga blocks, straps, blankets, or anything like that, please feel free to grab them. So things that I don't usually say, but I feel like I should. So good things to do are, if you've got bad knees, if you have a rolled up blanket or a cushion to pop underneath your knees, if you're in an all fours position or a position that puts extra pressure on your knees, that's a really good thing to do. Yoga blocks, obviously, for things like pigeon, or if we're coming into, say, like a runner's lunge, and you need something to hold on to on either side. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use chunky books. So like the last Harry Potter book in hardback, that's a good example. Yeah, so anything that you guys need, drink of water, make sure you've got it on hand so you don't disturb your practice. And when you guys are ready, we are going to bring ourselves onto the mats. Let's start kneeling at the back of our mats, planting your bum on your knees. So if kneeling doesn't feel right for you, I know it can be a little bit uncomfortable, you're very welcome to start seated, that's absolutely fine. Find the place that you want to start, find your comfort. Draw up your shoulders, open your chest, lengthen the spine, and close your eyes. And let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Send all of that air down towards the bottom of your lungs, filling like a glass all the way to the top. And as you exhale, drawing the navel in towards the spine. So filling your lungs all the way to the top, and maybe you pause for a second at the top of your breath, but always teaching ourselves to breathe deeper, to use the full capacity of our lungs. And exhale. So when we start to practice conscious breathing, which is what we're doing now, we're consciously breathing. We know that we are really breathing in, we're making the effort to expand the abdomen, to fill the lungs. And exhale, release. We step away from our intuitive breathing, the breathing that kind of goes on in the background that we know we have to do to live. So when we bring ourselves into our conscious breath, we're activating the cerebral cortex, which is the evolved part of the brain. And that will send these feelings of relaxation, of calmness, of, anti-anxiety. So that's why people tell you to just breathe if you're in childbirth or if you're stressed out. A little bit of science there. So keeping that breath flowing, inhale. And exhale. And today, our theme of the day, our intention for this class is going to be acceptance. So you can interpret these intentions in any way that you like. But for example, my interpretation of acceptance in a yoga class maybe would be meeting myself with acceptance on the mat. And what that means is that if I fall out of a balance pose or I don't get that deep into a split or a lunge, I accept my practice, I meet myself with acceptance, I push my ego to one side, and that's really what we want to do in our yoga practice, because all yoga practice is perfect to the person doing the practice. We all look different, we all have different bodies. So let's try and meet ourselves with acceptance on the mat. With that in mind, start to draw the shoulders away from the ears, keeping the neck long, letting go of any tightness, any tension in your facial features, and unlocking the jaw. Drop the tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. Maybe part your lips. Letting go of those tension points, those areas we tend to hold on to stress. And let's start to gently mobilize our body. So we'll start with rolling the neck. We roll from one shoulder to the other. Little head rolls. Maybe you want to turn that into a full head roll. Get really deep into the neck. That's absolutely fine. And also, if you are kneeling and you're starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, absolutely bring yourself to seated. I know that staying kneeling for some time can be a little bit intense. Bring yourself down to your shoulders now. We're going to start to roll the shoulders, but again, you don't want it to be a regimented movement. Really feel what your body needs. What does your shoulder girdle need? Maybe you want to do one shoulder then the other. Maybe you want to do both shoulders at the same time, pulling those shoulder blades together, opening the chest. Maybe you want to now start to get your body involved as well. So we're starting to get our chest, our spine involved. Wiggling around, just freestyling that movement. Maybe you make it into a kind of cat-cow type movement. Remember to keep that breath flowing. So we try and keep that conscious breath going throughout the class. And I know that's difficult when I'm shouting a million things at you guys to do with your body, but every time you think about your breath, try and bring yourself back to that conscious breathing, that deep inhale and exhale. And setting yourself back to center. Start to walk the hands in front of you, bringing yourself into an all fours position on the mat. And we're just going to tuck the toes. So especially if you've just been kneeling for 5 minutes, tucking the toes, you're going to push those feet in the opposite direction. So we're going to give them a nice little stretch. You're going to feel that stretch through the arches, through the balls of your feet. Pull the navel in, keep the spine flat. Just gently engage the core and try cupping the palms a little bit so they don't lie flat, so you're not ramming into the wrists. Breathe here and feel that energy between the palms, the knees, and the feet. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to start to drop the navel to the floor, gaze up towards the sky, hollowing out that lower back. Exhale, navel inwards, crown of the head towards the floor, like a scared cat. Inhale, cow pose, heart center open. And exhale. And keeping that wiggle going. So you can either continue here with your cat-cow, or you can freestyle the movement and really start to move into all the corners of your body. Get your wiggle on. Point those fingers and toes. You really want to Move yourself into any area of your body that you feel needs to be unlocked, needs to be mobilized a little bit. So use that breath, make it deep, make it indulgent. Maybe you want to work to a specific body part, so you can do the backs of your arms and your wrists. Maybe you want to drop all the way forward, take a cobra, release your lower back, or bring yourself into your balasana, your child's pose. Whatever you're doing, really push into those areas, and using your breath, make it deep, make it indulgent. And as I say every night, this is a lovely thing to do if you have a day where you just can't be bothered, or you don't have the time, or you don't have the energy to do a full class. This is a nice way of kind of getting the fluids flowing, releasing any tension that you might have in your body, and just connecting to your breath, which is sometimes all our body needs just to feel a little bit better. So first thing in the morning, after a shower, or before you go to bed at night, if you're like me and you hold quite a lot of nervous energy, it's quite nice to just give yourself a little shake out in the evening, which is why these classes were actually really nice in the evening, especially if you've got quite a lot of tension or anxiety. It's nice to give yourself that stretch and wiggle before bed. And when you're ready, you're going to bring yourself back to center, to that all fours position. Inhale, we reach that right arm all the way forward, and circle that right arm all the way up and round, following your fingers with your gaze. Stroke the mat as you go past, reach that hand out in front. Inhale, we circle the arm. Stroke the mat. And out in front, let's go for one more of those. Circle that arm all the way around, and this time sending that arm all the way out in front. Drop down onto your left forearm, bringing yourself into a kind of half extended puppy. Deep breath. So drawing the chest towards the mat. So the right arm's reached out, the left arm is on its forearm, chest forward. So you're stretching your chest, your abdomen, your upper back, your shoulders, your hamstrings, pull that navel in. Deep breath to slightly lift the right arm and post the left arm underneath, rolling onto your left shoulder, thread the needle. You can take that right leg parallel with the left arm if you want to. Again, that's completely optional, you might not want to do that. I find it adds a little something to the stretch. Deep breath here, inhale. And exhale to pull yourself back to center. Lift the right leg out behind you. Flex the foot and bend the right knee. We're just going to start to stir our hips. So we're going to circle that knee around. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Reach the right leg. Tap that right foot to the mat in line with the left foot, and you're going to reach that right arm up and kind of give yourself a little back bend, so you're reaching that right arm behind you. So it's kind of like gate pose, but not really. You're giving yourself that back bend, so we're extending. Reach those fingertips. Deep breath in here. Exhale, gently bring yourself back to that all fours position, lifting that right leg out behind you. Push down through the palms, tuck the left toes, and push up into a 3-legged dog. That right leg goes all the way up behind you. You can bend that right knee if you want to, looking underneath that right armpit. And we're just going to stir the hip again here. So we're going to take that right knee, we're going to bring it across to the left elbow, to the right elbow, and all the way back up into a hip opening 3-legged dog. Let's do that a couple of times. So stirring the hip, we go knee to left, right, all the way up. And again, left, right, in one smooth movement, all the way up. Let's go again. Left, right, all the way up. And this time you can either stay here, or you can walk the whole way over. Take a wild thing pose. Send those hips up towards the sky. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Wild things, and everybody back to your 3-legged dog. Reach that right knee in towards the chest, plant the right foot, drop that back knee, your left knee. Take a breath, reach those arms up in line with your ears, crescent moon, low lunge. So, runner's lunge, good for runners. Stretching your hip flexors, strengthening the quads, front of your thighs, hamstrings, back of your thighs.
deep breath here. You can stay here, or you can split the arms. So the right arm goes back, the left arm goes forward. You can drop that right hand onto the left calf if you want to, and reach that left arm up and over. Breathe here wherever you are. 3, 2, and 1. Gently windmill those hands back around on either side of that front foot. Tuck the left toe and lift the back knee, bringing yourself into a more elevated lunge. Take a breath. Arms up in line with your ears, high lunge. So hips under shoulders. If you need to give that back knee a little bend, please do. Right knee above right ankle. Take a breath here. On your exhale, you're going to turn the left foot out, reach the left arm down the back of the left leg. Right arm up and over. Reverse warrior. Just going to switch sides and move the Facebook camera. So remember in your reverse warrior that it is a lateral bend, which means it's going to be stretching the side of your body. In this instance, it's going to be stretching the right side of your body. I think that's what we just did. No, the left side. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. Bear with me. Yes, we're stretching the right side of our body. Sorry, guys. So we're stretching all the way down the right. So try and make sure that you're not giving yourself a back bend or a forward fold. Take a breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring the arms back to center. Gaze down those front fingertips. Warrior 2. Start to straighten both legs. And what you want to try and do here is not lock the knees. Take your left hand and bring it behind your back. So you're almost taking a half bind. When you're doing this, you want to try, again, to keep an equal distribution of weight between the legs. You want to try not to lock out those knees, which is very tempting, and I do tend to do that as well. Start to reach forward with that right arm and bring that right hand all the way down your leg to wherever you feel that you need it to be in your triangle pose, your Trikonasana. So, again, try not to lock the knees. Be really conscious of locking the knees. If your hand doesn't make it to your ankle, that's fine. Wherever it is on your leg is amazing, as long as your shoulders are stacked. We're then going to reach that left arm up towards the sky. Pull up through the left fingers. So wrist to wrist, shoulder to shoulder in a straight line. Deep breath, hips aligned. And if you're uncomfortable in this pose, then it probably means that you are doing it right. So very, very slowly we're going to do this transition. We're going to turn that left arm all the way around. We're going to drop both hands on either side of that front foot. We're going to turn the left foot in, and maybe we're going to step that left foot in a little bit. Keep both legs nice and straight. You want an equal distribution of weight. Make sure those hips are squared to the front. So this here, this is a forward fold. We're really starting to pull our torso over the thigh and keep the spine nice and straight as you're doing this. This is your Parvattanasana, your pyramid pose. Deep breath, inhale and exhale. And then again, slowly start to bend that front knee. And as you do, you're going to drop the left hand to the inside of your right foot. And you're going to reach that right arm all the way up towards the sky. Breathing here. Twisted lunge. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly again, keeping the arms where they are, we're going to drop the back knee to the mat. And we're going to start to straighten that front leg. Twisted runner's lunge, twisted half split. So really, this is going to start to get into your hamstrings, and the twist is going to add that bit of tension. Circle both hands around on either side of that front foot. Square the hips to the front, and we're bringing ourselves back into that little runner's lunge. Gaze straight ahead. Inhale. And exhale. So you're going to feel this nice juicy stretch through the right hamstring. Try and keep those hips squared to the front. And I always use the visual of like car headlights, because they kind of blare straight ahead. They're very even. They are just, you can't mistake them. So try and make your hips like that. Try not to lean to the right, although it's very tempting. Take a breath here. Drop the right foot. Straighten that back leg, tuck the left toe under. Push the palms down into the mat, and you're going to step back into your high plank position. From here, you can either push straight back into your downward facing dog, or tuck the elbows in, come down through your chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing dog, and push back. Downward facing dog, so pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Feet want to be at least hip width apart. Pull the navel in towards the spine, drop the head between the arms and spread the fingers. Walk those feet out, really give your bum a little wiggle. Really nice deep breaths. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And we're just going to roll onto the balls of our feet, lift our heels, and then drop back down, starting to work into our calves and hamstrings, and rolling up, and drop back down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower one more time. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Take a breath. Roll all the way forward, high plank. Knees, bum, and hips downward dog. So that's like a little circle that we're going to do. So we're going to roll all the way forward into our high plank. And you're going to start to drop the knees towards the mat, so they just hover about 10 centimeters. As you do that, send the bum backwards, push up, downward facing dog. Let's do that. We go plank, knees, bum and down dog. Let's go for 3. Knees, bum, down dog. 2, knees, bum and down dog, and 1. Knees, bum and down dog. Beautiful, everyone. Gaze straight ahead, drop down into your all fours position. Which I'm going to switch sides. Lovely, everybody. So again, tops of the feet can be on the mat, or you can tuck the toes. It's really up to you. It depends what feels better for your feet. Let's bring that spine into a nice straight position. Reach that left arm out in front. Gaze at the fingers, and as you do, you're going to circle that arm the whole way around. And stroke the mat as you go past. Inhale. Circling that left arm all the way around, stroke the mat. And last one, we circle that left arm. And then we're going to send that left arm out along the mat and drop down onto our right forearm. So it's almost like we're like mid-crawl, pulling the chest towards the mat. So we're stretching our hamstrings, our chest, our abdomen. Deep breath, inhale. Gazing down those left fingertips, exhale. Again, pull that left arm back slightly. Take the right. You're going to post that right arm underneath the left arm, rolling onto that right shoulder blade, and pulling the ear towards the mat. Deep breath here, inhale. Reach that left leg out. If you want to, again, completely optional. I just feel like it adds a little bit extra to the stretch. Rolling onto that right shoulder, you're going to feel this in your shoulder girdle. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale, one more. Gently pull the left arm back, pull the right arm out. Bring yourself back into that all fours position. You're going to take the left leg out behind you. Bend the left knee and flex the left foot. We're going to stir the hips. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Really nice. Flexing that foot. Straighten the left leg. Tuck the toes under on the right. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, push up into your 3-legged dog. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. So from here, we're going to stir the hip again. So bend the left knee, gaze underneath that left armpit. And we're going to go left knee comes to left elbow to right elbow and all the way back up. So let's do that 4 times. We're going to go left elbow, right elbow, one smooth movement all the way back up. And again, left, right, all the way back up. And left, right, all the way back up. Last one, left, right, and all the way back up. Actually, it's not. Let's do one more. Left, right, all the way back. So you guys can stay here if you want to, opening the hips in your three-legged dog. Or you can walk the whole way over. Take your wild thing, send those hips up towards the sky. Wherever you are, we're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself back to that three-legged dog. You're going to send that left knee in towards the chest. Plant the left foot. Drop that back knee. You can either keep that toe tucked under or drop the top of the foot to the mat, whatever works for you. Arms come up. In line with your ears, bring yourself into your low lunge, your crescent moon. So, stretching our hip flexors, really good for split practice, strengthening quads, strengthening hamstrings. You can stay here, or you can take a split with the arms. That means the left arm will go back and the right will go forward. You can stay here. The left hand could drop back onto the right leg and reach the right arm up and over. Deep breath here, we hold for 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale. As you exhale, circle those hands back around on either side of that front foot. Tuck the right toe under and lift the back leg. So you're kind of in a half lunge. Deep breath, reach those arms up in line with your inhale, in line with your ears. So making sure hips under shoulders. You bend the back knee if you want to. High lunge, good for your balance, good for nice healthy knees. Take a breath here. As you exhale, you're going to circle the right arm all the way around, turn the right foot out, left arm comes up and over. Reverse the warrior again. It's not a back bend, it's not a forward fold, it's stretching through the side of the body. It's a lateral stretch. Left finger's reaching across to the right. Deep inhale. Bring both arms back to center, warrior 2. Tuck the tailbone under, gaze down those front fingertips. And then we're going to straighten both legs and try not to lock the knees. So what I mean by that is you'll feel it when it locks. You'll be like, it will look like your knees are hyperextending. So try and keep them slightly soft. From here, we're going to take that right arm behind our back, give ourselves a half bind. And the reason we do this is just to keep ourselves nice and aligned. You're then going to reach that left arm forward, keeping the bind. Turn the left palm out and drop that left hand down in line with either your left ankle or wherever you feel on your leg works for you. And again, trying to pay attention to if we're locking our knees, which is a really, really common thing to do. And then when you feel like you've got your alignment, you're going to reach that right arm up towards the sky, trying to pay attention to stacking the shoulders and the wrists. Pull up through those right fingertips. And again, if you're uncomfortable, it probably means you're doing this pose right. Deep breath, hips aligned. So a really good way to practice Trikonasana, our triangle poses against a wall. You want to be flat against a wall. That's how we know our hips are completely aligned. So taking time with this transition, we're going to circle that right arm around. We're going to drop the left hand on either side of that front foot. Turn the right foot in, slightly step that back foot in, and again, keeping the knees soft. So if you need to give yourself a little bend in the knee, please do. If you do have super tight calves or hamstrings, you may need that little bend. That's absolutely fine. So I need a little bend in the left knee here. Keeping that spine along the shoulders from the ears. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale to pull your torso towards the thigh. So remember to keep an equal distribution of weight between the feet, the hips squared to the front, very important. Start to bend that left knee. Drop the right hand to the inside of the left foot. Reach that left arm up, twisted lunge. Inhale. And exhale. Drop down onto that right knee, keeping your arms in the same position. Let's see if we can keep this balance as you start to straighten that front leg and bring yourself into your twisted runner's lunge, half split. Pulling those left toes in towards your left calf. Let's give ourselves a breath here before we drop both hands down on either side of that front foot and start to pull the toes in towards us. Keeping the spine straight, keeping the hips squared to the front
And the hips squaring to the front is really important in this stretch because you will feel yourself, particularly if you've got tight legs, dipping to one side. So if you take a look at what you're doing now, if you've got a tight side, so if your left side is tight, you might feel yourself kind of being like, oh yeah, I'm really deep in the stretch, but only on one side. So when we're square to the front, we might not go as low in the stretch, but I promise you, it will be as deep and deeper. You will feel it more, and you will feel it in the correct places, in your hamstrings, in your hips. Keep that spine straight. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, plant the left foot. Drop those hands on either side of that front foot. Tuck the right toe under, lift up that back leg, and step back into your plank position. So, either pushing straight back into your down dog, or tuck those elbows in and come down, Chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing, and push back. Downward facing dog, walk those feet out. Deep breaths. Little wiggle of the bum maybe. Then gaze straight ahead with a slight bend in the knees. You're going to step, float or jump through to a seated position on your mats. And coming into my absolute favorite hip opener, so bringing your feet together like palms, coming to our Baddha Konasana, our bound angle pose. Hands around your big toes, plant those bum cheeks on the mat, drop the shoulders, deep breath. As you exhale, start to pull the knees apart and towards the mat, so we're really opening the hips nice and gently. So this pose gives you this wide open feeling while it increases blood flow to your pelvic floor. So it's a lovely one to do if you're pregnant or if you have had a baby. It can feel quite nice as well. If you've got super open hips, this one can be really, really relaxing. If your hips are not so open, this is a good way to gently open them. And if you guys want to add a little forward fold here, absolutely you can. So the way we do that is we're just going to push our feet slightly out in front. That's going to create a diamond shape with our legs, so only slightly. Hands still around your big toes, and this time, as you drop forward, use your elbows to push those knees down even more, which can be quite satisfying. So I always like to look straight ahead, and the reason that I do that is because if I drop my head, that's when I give myself that kind of curve in the spine, that little hunchback of Notre Dame that we want to avoid. We want to keep the spine flat as we fold forward, so we're hinging at the hips. We're not going to give ourselves any back issues. When we curve the spine in a forward fold, that's when we get lower back pain. So we don't want to do that. So gazing straight ahead, deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, hinging forward. Imagine someone's trying to send you in the pose. You want to make yourself nice and compact, like you fit into an envelope. Deep breaths. And then gently unraveling, rolling up through the spine. Straighten those legs out in front. Point the toes. Drop your hands underneath the small of your back. Fall back onto your forearms. And push that chest up, let the head roll the whole way back. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. So we're in our fish pose. So pointing your toes, engaging the legs on your forearms, pushing the chest up, head rolling back. You're going to feel this in your shoulders. You're going to feel that engagement in your legs. Deep breaths. And exhale. Gently release your arms and peel yourself down onto the mat, pulling the knees in towards the chest and gently rocking from side to side to release the spine. Up and asana. Maybe you want to give yourself a little circle in the spine. So for me, that feels really good on my lower back, but you know, it might feel different to you. So really think about what feels good for your own body, because we all have different, the poses will feel different to all of us.
So bringing your legs now into a tabletop position and try and push your sacrum, the small of your back, into the mat to begin with. Take a breath. As you exhale, drop those knees over to the left and gaze to the right, reaching those right arms out. You're going to gaze down those right fingertips. So we finish with that nice little supine twist. It's a really nice way to release any tension. And gently drop those knees over to the right and gaze to the left. And then bringing yourself back to center. Hug those knees in towards you again, deep breath. And just bring your feet together like palms. We're going to bring them back down onto the mat into our Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's our reclined Baddha Konasana. So same position with your legs that we had in our upright Baddha Konasana. And then you're going to take your hands either to the inside of your thighs or create like a little heart shape with your fingers and thumbs and place it on your pelvis. So then you can feel that breath, you can feel the heat that you're generating. So again, we're really opening up the hips, giving ourselves that wide open feeling. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a little bit of breath retention, our Vodka Breath, which is going to kind of chill us out and relax us, ready for our Shavasana. So I'm going to kind of pat a rhythm and we're going to breathe in time. So what we do here is we're going to inhale, exhale, hold, inhale, exhale, hold. And what that does is it calms our body down. So it's a nice thing to do at the end of the day, after a practice, before you go to bed. Again, if you have anxiety or insomnia or you are a bit stressed out, this is a good thing to do. So we're going to go inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, last one, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release your body, start to peel yourself out onto the mat, ready for your Shavasana. Again, if you want to keep that breath pattern going, you absolutely can. Otherwise, returning to your yogic breath. So we want to, again, bring ourselves back to that conscious breath. Deep inhale and exhale. And if you want to grab anything that you might need for Shavasana, please do that now. So dimming the lights, having a drink of water, popping some music on. Maybe you want to grab socks, jumpers, blankets, cushions, coming to that time of year for blankets and cushions again. Although it has been really hot today, so maybe not today. So as always, if you don't want to stay for Shavasana, that's absolutely fine. I know that it's not in everyone's practice, but you know, if you want to give it a go, I would actually say the online classes where you're practicing from home is a really nice place to start, because you know, going into a yoga studio and seeing loads of people kind of lying in silence, it can be a little bit daunting, or you can feel a little bit awkward. So it's a nice place to kind of explore maybe what Shavasana means to you from home. So I wouldn't say it's meditation necessarily. It's time for you to relax, to let go, to focus on breath, maybe to let your thoughts run wild. Maybe it's just time where you don't have to have your phone or be bothered by anyone, and just kind of just chill out. Whatever it is, bringing yourself down onto your mat and finding that space. Let the palms fall open, close your eyes, feet falling open.
Return to your breath, so deep inhale and exhale. Starting to clear your mind of any clutter, so reaching for that imaginary broom and maybe sweeping the mind clear. And if you want to, you can try and let go of any thoughts or worries at all. Maybe that's not possible. Maybe you want to follow that thought train. Before we switch off, we're just going to pull ourselves back to our intention of acceptance. So however that may be interpreted for you, but thinking about how we accept ourselves in our practice. If maybe we don't go as deep into a pose as we'd hoped, maybe we fall out of a balance or a transition, but we just think of it as our practice. We'll get it next time, meet ourselves with acceptance. So again, maybe it means something different for you. We're just going to pop that intention aside and bring ourselves back to our breath. And let our feet fall open on the mat, each toe unraveling one by one. Ankles, calves, knees and thighs lightweight. All the way up to the base of the spine and feeling each vertebrae unravel one by one. Pulling those shoulders down away from the ear. Arms lightweight at your side and each finger unraveling. Neck long and head light. Facial features soft and gentle. And then finally pulling your attention down towards your chest and your abdomen. That slow and steady rhythm of your breath, pulling you deeper into the earth, into your mat. And as you breathe, start to unlock your jaw, unclench your teeth, and pull the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Parting your lips and allowing yourself to just breathe, letting go of anything and everything. As you inhale and exhale. Gently wiggling your fingers and your toes to draw awareness back into your body. Hugging the knees in towards your chest and gently rocking from side to side to release the spine on the mat. In your own time, bringing yourself up to seated. Palms on your knees, drop the shoulders, sit nice and tall. Let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And let's do one more. And this time when we exhale, we're going to allow a really big deep sigh. Inhale. Pull your palms together at your heart center. Thank you all so much for practicing with me. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday and your Friday. Namaste. So guys, let me know if there is anything that you want to practice on Saturday or Sunday morning in particular. Obviously Sunday evening we're going to do our full body flow. Tomorrow we have the day off. So I feel like I haven't seen you guys much this week, but let me know if there's anything that you are interested in practicing, and we'll try and put it into Saturday and Sunday. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, if there's anything that you guys are thinking for Saturday, let me know, because I kind of go on what you guys say you want to do. So, you know, if there's anything anyone wants to do in particular, you know, if there's anything that you want to revisit, please do let me know. Maybe we'll do pelvic floor and core control on Saturday. Yes, so lower back. I've done quite a few lower back pain release. That's always a really popular one. We'll definitely revisit that one. Lower back pain, actually we can probably pull that into core and pelvic floor, because it's really important to have a strong core and pelvic floor, and that's going to really help with lower back pain. Lower back pain is a really, really common one. I know a lot of you guys and me and my other half really suffers with it. A lot of lower back pain comes from our posture. So things like sitting in a desk, that's going to give you lower back pain if you sit at a desk for a long time. So if you think about, if we're sitting in this position, like pretend I'm sitting in a chair all day, and then we don't counter that position with something else, our muscles are kind of stretched in the wrong direction. Our spine is kind of it's not neutral. So the body wants to be neutral. So we get things like lower back pain when our body is kind of a little bit unbalanced. So we'll definitely go into that. Knee strength and wrist from cycling. So I've been thinking about maybe doing a one for cyclists in particular. Wrists are a really delicate one. Let me have a look into something for wrists. We'll definitely do something for knees and strengthening the legs. So with knees, strengthening knees is really all about strengthening the surrounding muscle groups. So your quads, your hamstrings, the things like your calves, all of these areas want to be nice and strong, and they support your knees. So it's all about strengthening your whole leg. So things like the runner's yoga is good for that. But we'll definitely look into doing something for knees. We'll do lower back, and I'll combine it with core and pelvic floor. So maybe we'll do one of those on Saturday. And yeah, and I'll have a think about, well, maybe we'll do the knee strength next week. So have a lovely rest of your evening, everyone, and I will see you guys all on Saturday.